So, when I originally made the basic aim tutorial, I was thinking at the time that potentially in the future there would be an advanced aim tutorial, but there really just wasn't that much to talk about because it's not really an aim intensive game. This video is technically kind of like a spiritual successor to that because it's about aim, but it's more specifically how movement affects aim. And there's like a couple things that I'll throw in from like the prospective advanced aim video, but it's really all to do with the same thing. Uh, this I actually downloaded some fucking mods for this shit just to help explain myself better. So you'll see I've got the kind of like a key logger thing, and also have this mod that shows both the server and client reticle. So the client reticle is in green, server reticle is in pink in the middle of the screen. What the fuck is that sound? For the goddamn shit. So this actually you'll see kind of if you see watch other videos, you see uh talking about how there's desync between the server and client reticle. And you can see this by and I move my tank left and right, I block my turret, and then I move, you'll see the server reticle is ahead of the client reticle, as opposed to if I turn my turret, the client reticle will be ahead of the server reticle. And this mod, there's like two mods that I've actually played World of Tanks with mods that I would use. This one potentially, although it's not as useful for me. I think because I play on such low ping, this mod will be like become more useful and it'll scale linearly with the amount of ping you have. I play on like really low ping, so it really just doesn't matter. But like this mod, it's not gonna really help you like hit shots or anything like that, but it is useful if you play on high ping, where you'll be able to see like if you turn your turret for a long time, you'll be able to see the desync and not miss shots, like that kind of shit. The other one is like exact HP on the team lists and shit. But the main thing I'm going to talk about is not so much this, although I'll get back to that later. It is mostly like the unintended effects of moving. And what you'll see a lot of people do sometimes is uh, the most common occurrence of this is when somebody, like, I don't know, you're like scared someone is going to be reloaded and you're trying to take a shot, but then you start backing up too early. You'll see when you start backing up, your tank will like kind of rock forward. So the thing is, a lot of times you'll see this. It happens to me sometimes. Like you just like mess up the timing of clicking and driving backwards. So feel like I'm aiming at the lower plate, and then I'm like scared this guy's gonna reload, and then I start backing up and pull the shot into the ground. And you see this a lot. Like it's a lot of like it's mostly like a noob thing, but even like everybody does this shit sometimes. So you it doesn't. I was actually surprised with the reticle overlay that the server reticle doesn't actually show the movement of you rocking forward. But like you see here, I'm aimed at the lower plate. The thing is, like, if you see when you rock backwards, there's just like it's just like a split second where you rock forward, and the server reticle doesn't actually show it. But if you like drive forward and you start driving back, you'll see it like reaches equilibrium. So there's a very like small window where fucking up a shot like this is possible. But unfortunately, it's like the perfect window for actually just driving backwards. Like, and it's really hard. I was like I thought when I downloaded this mod that when you rock forward, it would actually like show that you're gonna fucking whiff, but it's and not really hard to replicate. It's mostly just like if you there's a very small window where this happens. That is mostly the biggest occurrence of this type of thing. One other thing is like I'll show a couple clips. When I if you watch like the clips and whatnot, see a lot of stuff. This is actually like a really good way to show how like moving the turret versus moving the tank affects the desync between the reticles. So you see, you can like rock forward and shit, and I'll show some clips where it's actually not that difficult to hit. Plus, like driving, it mostly like a speed thing. I might go on a different map and show it, but when you like drive forward and then rock down quickly, you can give yourself a bunch of gun depression, but I think I'll go for do a different map for that. Alright, so this is kind of a better map to show this just because it's got this like ridge here. I talked about it before, like rocking forward, giving yourself like extra gun depression. It's mostly like situations where you like want to peek up on the ridge extremely quick so you don't get shot in return. And the more speed you have, the more gun depression you give yourself. And it's relatively easy. It's like, say I want to hit this building right here. I'm probably gonna miss it for a shot, but you can just like drive over the ridge and you can rock forward like that. And it's actually really not that hard of a thing to do relative to like other things, because I don't know, it's just, the timing is just like relatively easy. But like having the double reticle, it's not gonna like help you hit shit like this because it's mostly like a feeling thing. But it's certainly something that you can practice and get a lot better at because, but like, is useful mostly in tanks that can go that aren't as slow as fucking balls, because you need a little bit of speed to like give yourself a decent amount of ability to rock back, and you need to like or counter strafed and fucking CS:GO or some shit. Especially in this game, since you're driving, you have momentum, you have to like try and stop yourself earlier than you normally would. But yeah, I mean, there's not really too much to explain with that. So these are some clips. These are like in-game scenarios of the things I was talking about. This is actually from the fucking highlight vid. This is just the most like I don't know if I actually have any other clips of this. This is just like the most recent thing that I can remember. But you see this shit all the time. Everybody does it. See, he pulls forward in here, and then he pulls a shot under the tank, because when he is driving forward, he aims, and then he starts backing up before he clicks, and then he pulls a shot under the tank. So that's like the most typical thing. This is just a couple examples of, obviously, with the mod installed, you can actually see the sub-reticle and client reticle. This is just, I've seen these before, same clips where you can shoot in front of the client reticle, which this will make a lot more sense now that you've seen both reticles overlaid. And I honestly, if you're kind of a noob, I would suggest, and you play with mods anyway, I would suggest the reticle overlay. I can't remember what the fuck it was called. Maybe I'll pin a comment with it. Doesn't, I mean, it doesn't fucking matter. It's in like Asline's mod pack, then they're camera mods or some shit. This is like an in-game example. I can't remember the exact situation. I think this guy was like nearly reloaded, so I didn't want to like drive up here and sit on the ridge and shoot at him. So I had decent amount of speed, and you just like start driving back and give yourself a ton of gun depression. This is mostly to do, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but this is just a type of shot that you can hit where it doesn't really seem like you can hit it. I've got a few of these. So sometimes, you know, you just kind of get fucked by your own driving, whatever. But if you're in a situation like this, where like I was driving and aiming at this guy, and I can see, I never seen the fucking clip. I can see there's like a split second right there. I don't know why it's grabbing this, whatever. You can, in the clip, you can see like a split second where my reticle was actually on his tank. But when I stop, obviously it's all the way up here. Because I saw it on his tank at one point, I know that where I am on this bridge, there is a point where if I back up, I will hit him. It's just a thing. You just have to time it. So like when I see it's possible, I know there's no other way I'm gonna fucking shoot this guy. I have to like drive, but I know I can hit him right now if I just back up and time it properly. It's the same thing. See the same thing here. Drive up like a bot, but I saw that there was a point where I could have hit his tank. Like, basically right here. I drive up, I see this for a second, but then obviously I drive up on the fucking shit. But I know if I back up and time it properly, I can hit him. It's actually not that difficult of a thing to do. This is kind of like when I was talking about accidentally driving backwards and pulling the shot. You can do the same kind of thing. This is not as good of an example. The next one is better, but you can do the same thing kind of in combination with what I was just talking about, where if you don't really have a shot, like I never really had a shot at this guy, but I can pull the shot down. This is a much better example. Like this right here, I never ever had a shot at this guy, and I'm using all my gun depression in the SUV. But if I time it properly, I can drive backwards, rock forward, and hit this guy. So this is kind of like, this is a much more advanced technique in aiming. But really, the main thing I want to talk about, which I think will be the most useful for people, is like this scenario where you like peek a corner or something, maybe you're holding, and you know someone's about to be loaded, so you want to back up quickly, and you fuck up the timing between pressing S and clicking, and then you pull the shot under the tank. And I feel like a lot of people, especially like, man, I really expected to see something different when I downloaded this mod, because like you can see right here, when I press S, the tank rocks forward, but there's an equilibrium you'll reach after like half a second, and then from that point on, you can just fire normally. Obviously, you'll get like moving dispersion, but the rocking only affects it when you actually like see the tank rock backwards like that. It's a lot easier to see if you're driving forward and then rock back. But when I downloaded this mod, I really expected to see like when we rock backwards that the server reticle will drop down, but you really don't see it. You can see it like you do this, obviously, server reticle way below, but yeah, that's really like the most useful thing. I think a lot of people like, especially considering this doesn't actually show it, there is really no way to see in game if you're looking in sniper mode or something when you're gonna have that happen. It's just a timing thing. It's maybe like between like a quarter and half a second after pressing S or some shit like that. But yeah, that's it, honestly.